Welcome all to episode 2 of the Zero Honors podcast. My name is Aaron. Very, very sorry for the delay. One of us got. I don't know which way is which because I think the order is messed up for everybody.
Charlie's pointing at me.
This guy.
Charlie's pointing
I'm
at
pointing
me
at
right
you.
now.
All right, let me point down here. I don't know.
Well, Charles is over here. This is Geno. This is Chad. So
this
this
my side here.
you're pointing at nothing on my screen.
Maybe it's different for all of us.
I
so
think it's
let's just like
different
That's what I
Chad
think it
beneath
is.
me right now. As it should
I
be.
see Chad beneath Charles.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
So Charles over here got very sick. He has since recovered.
my tummy.
Relax.
I'm so sick.
Hurt.
But
It's painful.
but thank the Lord that he has recovered. We can finally get back on this. Not we, but he is going to try to be more consistent with it.
As always. I don't know.
First episode is up. We have to bury him like every week until we have to dig him out again.
It's too early, Geno. Don't be starting this. It's too early.
First episode is up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/panic in the Discord. That is also where you are going to be seeing this moving forward. We are going to be try to live stream this at twitch.tv/igcharlie92 at around 7:30 to 8 Central Time is where you're gonna expect a couple tweets. Follow us on all of our socials, will be in the description below, and be on the lookout for a giveaway for Marvel's Avengers around the time of this recording. We will announce the winner at next week's live stream, so make sure you're following us, or at least you're following Charles on his socials so that you can get the details on that. I don't really know if we need to share pleasantries if you've already seen the first episode, but just in case this is your introduction, my name is Aaron. To my left is Chad. Above me is Geno, and diagonal across from me is Charles. Our introductions and our specialties were in the first episode. Make sure you check that out. But now that we've kind of got that out of the way, I think it's time for us to start digging into our topics. We got quite a few going on tonight.
Yes, we do.
We have a lot to discuss, our friends. We have a lot to discuss.
Right.
Educate me. Let's do it.
First things first. Tomorrow on August 22nd, DC FanDome is happening. DC FanDome, for those of you who are not aware, although if you're a DC fan, I don't know how you are only just now hearing of this.
This is
But
true.
it is going to be a virtual convention that is going to house a lot of news, exclusive like insider information, merch, all types of stuff for video games, movies, shows, comics, everything DC related is going to be at this event. It's not going to be like I don't know if you guys have heard or saw anything about San Diego Comic-Con at home. It happened earlier this year. But it was just a bunch of like pre-recorded videos spliced together for like an hour and a half or so.
I remember that.
Yeah, you heard about it?
Yeah,
I don't think we ever talked about it, but it was a thing.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it.
So this is going to be it's a fully interactive virtual environment where you get to go and you get to pick. It's going to be like set up in like little theaters. You get to pick where you want to sit in, and you follow the schedule. It tells you what panels are going on at certain times, and it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be a treat for DC fans, for people like myself. The first episode, I introduced myself as the comics guy. I have loved DC all my life. This is a big thing for me because I have never seen a fan event on this scale, and so many people, so many higher ups at DC, actors, directors were really hyping this up on all of their socials. They're like, attend DC FanDome. We got stuff coming over there that we want you to check out, and there's just going to be so much here, and I am literally shaking in excitement. I literally cannot wait for FanDome.
I don't blame you.
So
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I be too.
Like I said, obviously compared to how Aaron is when it comes to this, he's definitely the more boy genius, the mastermind when it comes to DC. But I mean, overall, if you're just a fan, you can be a casual fan. There have to be some sort of excitement coming to. I know there's a couple things I'm hoping gets revealed, and hopefully we can get into that real shortly.
mm-hmm.
Overall, it should be a good event. Hoping it's gonna end up being a real good turnout.
Now I know Chad and Geno, they're not like super big DC guys, or at least not as big as we are. Chad, although you have seen some of the movies, you're in tune with some of the cartoons. What are some of your expectations for FanDome, if you even have any at all?
To tell you the truth, I don't have many expectations because I just don't, I don't pay too much attention to DC. I don't pay too much attention to comics in general. I mean, I like to watch Marvel movies, but comics are not something, a connoisseur like you are. But if it's everything you said it is, then it should be pretty damn good.
Geno, thoughts?
Hopefully something catches my interest in terms of maybe a story about maybe one character that I'm somewhat know on a basic level, and hopefully the show or maybe TV show or movie featuring such and such character will do something in that show or TV show to somewhat pull me in to want to invest into it.
Mm-hmm.
That in terms of TV shows or movies or something like that, and as for games, cares what upcoming games they got on deck.
Well, we do know a couple already, and they do already have panels lined up. Guys, there already is a schedule for FanDome so that you can check which panels are going on at which times. We know that that Rocksteady Suicide Squad is going to have a panel, and WB Montreal's Batman game is going to have a panel.
What?
Although it hasn't quite gotten announced yet, but it's got leaked to shit for like the past week. We know it's a Batman game.
I didn't hear about this.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's gonna be this game. It's gonna be, I don't know if it's actually gonna be in continuity with the Arkham series, but I think it's just gonna be like a side thing where Batman actually fights the Court of Owls in Gotham. And at least the names have been leaked. They have been dropping a whole bunch of like cryptic hints across their social medias for like the past week. People have been like putting the symbols together and deciphering the messages. It's a Batman game, and it's gonna be the Court of Owls, and they have a panel tomorrow. And I don't remember seeing on the schedule if there would be any other games lined up, although it would be interesting. I didn't see this in the schedule, but I think it would be interesting if NetherRealm had a panel to reveal Injustice 3, if they're even working on it, but I think this would be the place to see it.
I think it's too early for that. I'll put that out there as far as Injustice 3. I feel like Injustice 2 just dropped.
No.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, but MK11 came out in between then, and it's already had a little bit of time to like kind of sit and marinate with people. So
I already said.
Would you guys be interested in Injustice 2? I mean, Injustice 3?
For the story, sure. Gameplay story and which character gets put in, and hopefully not as much Batman characters.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it didn't get. I think it lost its steam a little bit compared to how when Injustice 1 first dropped. Maybe that's just kind of my opinion.
It did all right. Injustice 2 did better than 1. Yeah. At least you saw more characters in 2.
Definitely.
But 3, if it's not Injustice 3, I already said the next best thing they will probably go for is, unfortunately, MK versus DC 2.
Would you guys?
I was like either Injustice 3 or that. Like those are the only 2 reasons why Boom would be there.
What about the crossover series? Like, how do you guys feel about overall whenever it comes to like fighting games and they do crossover type with other developers, franchises?
It could work. I'm
It has to
not. I'm
make
not saying it
sense.
doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Like it just has to make sense. I don't think that MK and DC is a good pairing.
What about DC
Even
versus Marvel? That
are
would
you
ever,
kidding? Are you kidding? That's the ultimate nerd's wet dream. The fuck you talking about?
do you think that would ever come to a reality though? That DC and Marvel would agree to that from a crossover standpoint?
No, never.
What do you think the disconnect would be?
Just because they are so wrapped up in competition, like I know what a lot of people are gonna say. People are probably already watching, thinking, but there have already been Marvel and DC crossover comics where they fought. There was even the Amalgam universe where they even started combining characters. Those were different times. Now
Yeah.
Marvel is owned by DC. What? Marvel is owned by Disney,
Marvel is owned by DC.
and DC is owned by WB. It's not that Marvel and DC won't cross over. It's that Disney won't let Marvel cross over with WB's DC and vice versa.
Yeah.
It's different times.
Subsidiaries. They're not their own companies anymore.
Exactly. Like follow Scott Snyder and Donny Cates on Twitter. They are almost always poking fun at the idea of writing their own like mini crossover stories. They want to do it. It's not that they don't want to. It's that their bosses won't let them.
Right.
We're not allowed to do that.
Fucking hate this guy. Fucking hate the mouse, man. Mouse ruined everything.
Yeah.
Try the mouse, man.
I mean, it's kind of interesting. I know it's crazy, but like I said, I felt like Injustice 2 just dropped.
Yeah.
It has been a couple years, huh?
They already planted the idea for a NetherRealm Cup with their fighting games.
That'd be
Imagine that.
What if they bring
Injustice 2?
MK9 into that? I know we're gonna kind of off topic, but MK9 Cup, that'd be dope.
It's already been planted. That the idea's been planted. Boom, saw it. And
MK9 was one of the better MK games, honestly. Opinion.
Oh, yeah,
There was a lot of broken shit.
It was
broken.
dumb, but it was dumb, but it had all the characters you wanted out of it.
That's fair. Yeah.
Fair assessment.
Right. But I mean, basically the probability of seeing another NetherRealm game at FanDome, although they don't have a panel yet, it could still be a possibility. I'm just saying that this would be the place to see a reveal. So if there isn't, then it's probably not happening anytime soon. They are probably super early in development, if not even in development at all. But so FanDome a couple days ago, at least from the time of this recording, it actually turned out that a lot of people were complaining that the scheduling was a little messed up, or that it was compact for the schedule that it was given. So DC has decided to actually split FanDome into 2 days. The first day is Hall of Heroes, which is tomorrow, August 22nd. And then the second day will be Explore the Multiverse on September 12th, which will be a lot of more comic-centric. Hall of Heroes is going to be a lot more about the stuff that you want to see. People want to see the Batman movie. They want to see, Wonder Woman. They want to see stuff on the Black Adam movie. They want to see these video games and these shows. That's going to be tomorrow. All of the big stuff is going to be at Hall of Heroes. For more of the niche comic stuff, although it's not all going to be comic stuff, but the idea is things that might not be super desirable in the public is going to be in Explore the Multiverse later in September. And so it allows people to get a little breather and to be able to catch up on everything if they want to, and only catch up on the things that they are interested in. Again, the schedules are already up, so you can just pick and choose what you want to see and what you're interested in. Though, what do you guys want to see, just in general? I guess we'll go around the circle. Geno, what do you want to see
out of FanDome, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully a new show that might pull me in, maybe. Like I said, it's DC. I gotta take a big bait to pull me in. So I'm curious in the new Batman game, because I will most likely give that a shot. I could care less about the Suicide Squad, but I know that game will probably be fire at the end of the day. I want to care for their movies, but they movies need to step it up. Just,
I feel that.
That's 100% facts.
Yeah.
just they need to stop letting Marvel have their way. They need to step it up. The writing needs to step it up in the movies, man.
I don't want to cut you off, but you said the movies need to step it up. Do you think it's more of a plot issue as far as how they're plotting out these stories for DC movies?
Plotting and execution.
It's also
Everything.
a casting of who they're bringing in.
The
Casting is fine for me.
Casting's all right. There's just a few hit and misses here and there, but it's not as bad. They cast them right.
Okay, so you
I
think it's
their
more on
character.
The writing and the execution for some characters be all over the damn place. You're like, what
creative
is this?
writing standpoint needs to step it up.
It's
And
fucking
they
awful.
need to step it up. They need to step it up and stop getting bodied by their animation studio.
That's fair. I mean, it felt like whenever you think of DC, I think when it comes to movies, animation. If I'm gonna watch a DC, I'm watching.
Right.
Because the animation studio is killing it.
I'm not trying to watch Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Shazam. Like, I mean, the movies that just don't appeal to me. Like, I'm not excited for any of the movies that they're dropping. Honestly, when it comes to live action shit.
Because I'm like, Aquaman movie was all right. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. But for me, like, didn't Aquaman and Shazam and them come after Justice League, right?
Yeah.
And and around that time they basically said they're planning on rebooting the whole movie thing, right? Around that time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not what they said. They said that they want their movies to be more independent. They didn't say they were going to reboot them.
Oh, okay.
So not have it be like a connected universe.
Yeah, at least not to the extent that Marvel does it.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, it's something about these DC live action movies. They're just not getting it. Not getting it.
I did like the Shazam one was all right. Wasn't the best, but I like what was there.
I think the last thing I actually remember watching is Man of Steel.
What?
Yeah.
That was so long ago.
Yeah,
I know exactly. I mean, that's the last time I recall actually paying attention and looking forward to watching it. That's because like the trailers leading up to the movie.
Oh, they were beautiful.
Execution was great.
Batman
dropped. I'll just tell you that.
Situation.
Yeah, man, Batman v Superman was just no.
Mm-hmm.
Justice League was the nail in the coffin for me. I was like, I can't get with this.
Like see it like it completely. I already completely forgot they did a Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to remember that it happened either.
Like it doesn't even like you think Marvel like when the Avengers first dropped it's like holy shit, right?
Right.
Justice League drop is like
they rushed it. There's a lot of other things that went into it. But...
Which Avengers was it Civil War or Infinity War when they dropped in Justice League? Right? I'm pretty sure it was around that time, right?
No, Civil War dropped the same day as Batman v Superman.
Oh, okay. So it was around Infinity War then, right?
Yeah.
They tried to compete.
They tried.
That was a bad marketing decision.
They try to compete like at the damn nose, like that's their problem, and they competed with a bad movie. A bad movie.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna compete with the third Avengers movie with our first Justice.
Right. Okay. So you guys just think it's more again on the creative writing side of things and execute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not gonna get into write a whole fucking essay on why the movies are not good. But
yeah,
we'll say that for another time.
That's more or less the subject of the movies there.
All right. So Geno overall, new game.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
That's fair.
Chad, probably around the same, right?
Out of curiosity, what TV shows they got planned for this, if you know, Aaron?
I think they're gonna show the new season of Titans, Doom Patrol, Harley Quinn.
Right? Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing got canceled. What?
Yeah, Swamp Thing is dead.
Swamp Thing has been
about Swamp though, like a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Swamp. I don't know, man. Swamp Thing was too real. DC wasn't about that.
They got axed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One episode.
Before the first episode came out and it already got axed.
Yeah, they was like done. You're not showing the rest of the season. This stuff is too real.
All
I
right.
laughed.
While
That show looked good though.
Let me look this up.
while
It
he's
looked
pulling
good.
that up, while he's pulling that up, Chad, are you interested in any movies, games, shows, anything?
Just I liked some of the animation DC animated movies I watched with you. Apocalypse War was pretty cool. Not knowing anything about that animated universe, I think that was a great movie with or it was a good movie with some pretty good writing, good storytelling, motifs, whatever. I just like to see more of that. And what I don't want to see at FanDome, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I do not want to see Zack Snyder. Get that man the fuck out of
His Justice League is gonna get a panel.
Oh Lord.
Well,
Talk to me a
I
little bit about that.
tuned out.
Talk to me a little bit
Tuned
about
out.
that. What is going on with his version? What is the whole kick behind that? What's the movie?
So, okay, so Zack Snyder dropped. Well, he didn't. He didn't drop. WB dropped him, but he was making Justice League. His daughter tragically committed suicide, and he stepped down from the project. Understandable. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Except WB treated it as he dropped the project, so they completely removed him from the movie, and they brought in Joss Whedon to finish the movie. Now, Joss Whedon cost almost hundreds of millions of dollars in reshoots. The the cast, well, maybe not the whole cast, but Ray Fisher didn't like him, didn't like the way that he was being treated by Whedon, and basically it was just a whole mess. The Justice League movie
It's a
that we got,
debacle.
right? It was a complete mess that to be fair was neither Zack nor Josh Whedon's fault. It was a corporate mandated movie that felt like when I watched Spider-Man 3 the first time, how it just had like Sony's like little fingerprints all over it instead of being a Sam Raimi movie. That's exactly what Justice League was. It was a WB mandated movie. It was not good. People panned it, and because of the way that Zack Snyder was treated, people were claiming for his original cut of the movie to come out because allegedly he had finished a good amount of it. It just wasn't edited, or no effects were put in, but most of it was shot. At least that's what people were saying. That's what Zach was saying. That's what the cast were saying. And it was a myth for like a good 2 or 3 years after the movie came out about whether the Snyder Cut even existed. I thought it didn't, to be completely honest. I thought people were just being full of shit. But as it turns out, it's a real thing. It will premiere on HBO Max. It is currently going through post-production and reshoots. And he is going to have a panel at FanDome where he's basically I think he's going to show like a trailer and give like some insider information on like the making of it. He has already come out and said it will not have a single second of the theatrical Justice League's movie in it. Not a single second of it.
It's a completely fresh movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be 100% his this time.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
That doesn't mean it's going to be good though.
Right.
But good for him though. Like
It is good.
even though I don't like Zack Snyder movies like that, I think he just completely gets DC wrong in so many different ways. It was shitty what happened to him with his daughter, and then the company firing him for understandably stepping down from the project after such a bad thing had happened. Like, listen, I am so happy for Zack Snyder that he can finally finish his movie, that I just won't like it.
Right.
It's just not going to be a good movie. I'm sorry. Like I don't, at least I don't think it's going to be a good movie, but I'm glad he can finish it.
I don't got faith in it.
Yeah, I was just curious because, like I said, I heard about it. There's a lot of talk, especially on Twitter, trending about Zack Snyder and this director's cut. I never really dug into it. I didn't know what the big fiasco was about this movie. That sounds interesting. If that's the case, maybe I'll consider going back and watching your version. Kind of see. Did you have like a estimate, like a
Next year? Yeah.
I'm just scared for the apocalypse. I mean,
Darkseid.
Yeah.
Even
Darkseid,
still, like, that's another thing. You try to compare
Yeah,
Darkseid to Thanos. I'm not saying that was the whole case, but I feel like there wasn't enough build up Dark Side, like
No, there was
enough-
no build up. He just
There was
just
none.
showed up and
exactly. So I
he's
feel like
just
there,
there. I'm
you know,
like,
with
what?
Thanos all throughout the movies, there was these snippets, these cutscenes, post
Mhm.
credits, like there was build up. Thanos.
Yeah.
But Dark Side is just like
he's just
I'm
there.
here.
Him being in his cut to me looks like damage control. For the other one effing up. Like, oh man, we need like a real big bad for this version, I guess. Get Dark Side. We haven't done him yet. Get this
Yeah,
guy
but
ready.
it's
I like this
too
guy.
early to hit the reset button.
Yeah.
No, well, what do you mean by reset?
Completely just scrap current cast and kind of
Oh, that's
app
what you meant.
that they have planned out for these DC live action right now. Do you think it's too early to just hit it?
I don't
for
know.
a reset and a reboot?
I say reboot it, in my opinion.
Just
at this
scrap
point.
with the
Just-
whatever blueprint they had out in mind.
Just
I'm sure they laid out, you know, the next 5 to 10 years, depending on how they want to do live action movies.
They haven't. No,
think-
not after Justice League. They haven't.
yeah, just if y'all don't got nothing after Justice League, then well, what are we
Huh.
doing?
I mean, honestly, maybe that wouldn't hurt. Maybe they should look into doing just a reset or a reboot.
I mean, I just reboot it, and actually get Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter in there. Then
Right.
then we can get the
I
Justice
mean,
League.
you have to have the Justice League in there. I don't understand.
Like they
I mean,
had
yeah,
they
yeah.
had two founding members, just not in the movie, and I was like,
And it
like,
can't be
come on.
Justice League without the founding member. That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Like, yeah, it's like yeah, we can say the same thing for the Avengers, but at least with the Avengers, they chose like the second iteration of the Avengers, right, in the movies, right?
Yeah.
The second version of them. They didn't use the first one, but at least they used a version of the Avengers.
But they still, whatever variation they decide to go with, they stay true to it.
Yeah,
Right.
Just,
That's
when I
the
saw
moral of it.
Cyborg in Justice League, I'm like, we're already at this point. What's he doing here? He got no business being here yet. We ain't at that point yet.
All right.
Oh, we're going with that version of Justice League. Well, that version of Justice League is not the most universally known one, so why would we go with that one?
Yeah.
Did we forget the Justice League cartoon? Justice League Unlimited? The GOAT?
The GOAT.
Come on. That's crazy. The decision making over
Running
there
around
is crazy.
being a part of the Teen Titans crew, let alone already on the Justice League. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Let's
Don't
talk
talk
about
about Teen Titans. Fucking Teen Titans,
Another
man.
a prime example.
I'm
of
already triggered.
GOAT animation, Teen Titans.
Hey man, they might
Mhm.
drop Teen Titans might drop some news up there. So shoot.
Oh yeah, no. Teen Titans Go has a panel.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what you needed. Geno. That's what you need. Teen Titans
That's all
Go.
Geno. Because you actually like the show, which I don't understand.
I can put up with it to some degree,
I mean,
but
yeah, it has its
I will
moments.
admit that
It's a little
crazy.
comical.
Like I say, it has its moments, but that show just chooses when it wants to be good. This is like the main issue with it.
It doesn't hold a candle up.
Yeah, it
The
doesn't.
OG.
Not.
The dynamic between Slade and Robin.
Well, that's the problem. That show came out first, so when I look at Teen Titans Go, I'm like, why do you exist?
Right, exactly. Just, I mean, the OG version was a whole nother level. You know,
Right,
really, I
those-
guess, like, I mean, of course, you appreciate it during the moment, but now when you look back on it, like, the impact it had on majority of people's childhoods,
Right.
major impact.
Major.
And I feel like,
the
and, I
Young
get
Justice.
sidetracked. I feel like Young Justice kind of was starting that with season 1. I think that hiatus kind of just destroyed the steam. Justice.
Well, that's because it was actually canceled for a while. It's not that it was on hiatus, and it wouldn't have came back if people weren't asking for it.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
I definitely like season 1. I really enjoyed.
no, it was fantastic. Seasons 1 is some of the most solid animation I've ever seen in terms of storytelling.
Mhm.
You know, plot writing, narrative, characters, everything. It was fantastic.
Creed.
They got something there, right? Young Justice people, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, that's
At least
cool.
from what I remember, I think it was in the schedule. I would have been surprised if it wasn't on the schedule, but I'm pretty sure they have a panel too.
And you said the Harley Quinn show got something for season 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they got a panel. Yeah.
Oh, man, they need to do something for my boy Kite Man in that show, but they didn't.
I didn't even know they had a Harley Quinn show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an animated show. It's actually been doing pretty good. People like it.
First
I
season,
haven't
That-
seen it.
First season was
That's
good.
kind of a funny show. Not gonna.
Yeah.
It sucks. I mean, kind of we talked about earlier. Like, I'm so disconnected when it comes to DC now, just because I'm just so discouraged with the direction that they've taken over the handful of years.
I mean, discouraged with the movies or the live action stuff, right?
Definitely the live action stuff. I mean, the comics,
because the animations, they're good. Even the shows and movies, man, are all good. You can rely on those.
Oh, absolutely.
But the movies, yeah, you're gonna have to take a. You're gonna have to
Of course, I would just love to see me personally more of by far, hands down my.
Of course, yeah.
Hands down my favorite DC protagonist.
I
would definitely love to see more of him. I feel like it's kind of like the dynamic.
You got Titans for that, man.
Yeah, like when DC.
Sure.
They live or die by Batman or Superman. So I feel like they're not willing to, in my opinion, take next step as far as like expanding their characters.
Oh yeah,
they so many characters in the DC universe that they can expand on and flush out from a story standpoint.
They have to now though, because DC laid off a third of their workers. Now they have to bank on Batman and Superman to keep them afloat. Right. It's not that they weren't doing it before. It's just we weren't really seeing it because they were still pushing, Batman and Superman to the forefront, but they were still making books for these other characters and they were still putting them out there. But now they literally can't afford to do that. They lost too many people. Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, they have so many opportunities for these other characters out there that they can flesh out these stories, especially like from some of these standalone comic books. I know that's another situation to get into, but I would love to see Jason and the Outlaws. Like, of course that
it's still going on.
Yeah, but like from a live action or like an animation standpoint, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, if they laid off third of their workers, and of course they don't have the opportunity to do that, they gotta. What's gonna sell at this point?
Right.
What's gonna sell in 2020 or 2021? Batman and Superman.
I mean, you could always count on them selling, really.
Absolutely. But to kind of get back to it, at least for myself, Suicide Squad. I mean, overall, I would have loved to see like a standalone Superman game. Like, I feel like that's something that I've always kind of wanted. The last time we got was fucking Superman 64. I couldn't even fly through the damn rings on that game.
That's not true. Superman Returns was after, wasn't it?
That's cap. No one even talks about Superman. But
and yet you acknowledge 64?
No, I mean, because the struggles I went through as a kid, like, I couldn't keep this man I didn't understand it.
So bad it's good.
So bad it's good. I mean, Superman was just in all kinds of different. I just couldn't keep it. But Suicide Squad, that should be interesting. I would definitely see something. They need to try to blow us away. Like, they need to, whatever marketing strategy they need to come up with, they need to definitely step it up with these action movies. The animation movies, of course, as we know, if you're a DC fan, they stay true to the DC fans when it comes to animations and the storylines and the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aaron kind of mentioned, if they laid off 30 of their workers, they need to make that money on the big screen. That's where the money's going to come from. But if you keep putting out this trash and these rush products, like, it's just not going to happen. Marvel's going to continue to blow you away. At this point, of course, not saying it's true or not, Marvel, they feel like they have no competition in the live action game when it comes to it. So Marvel can be like, hey, I can throw out any type of storyline, any type of movie. You guys are going to bite on it because we have no competition.
Black Widow.
I mean, shit. Who knew that we would see an Ant-Man movie ever?
I mean, of course, if you know the comics, you know Marvel, you know Ant-Man, but it's not like, shit, we're gonna get Ant-Man movie and it's gonna sell the way it sells.
Right.
I just feel like Marvel, the way that they're at, they're not gonna stress or worry about what DC's doing, especially not from the live action standpoint.
They've set themselves up greatly with Infinity War and Endgame. They got like Doctor Strange coming out, Multiverse of Madness. They keep setting themselves up because all these movies promote each other in a way.
Right.
Like Captain America: Civil War had like 12 characters.
That's the key. It's all connected. They're really particular and plan this out, like have it unlocked when it comes to the blueprint and the vision that they see their movies.
Right. So all in all, FanDome, it's going to be this big thing. Well, a lot of people are going to be excited for it. I'm excited for it. It seems like half of us here are pretty lukewarm about it, but the other half is looking forward to it. Uh, like everyone else, I'm ready to be blown away. I mean, I haven't seen just the idea of this event is just so captivating. Like imagine if Marvel did something like this, or Star Wars, or any other franchise had something as big as FanDome. That would be amazing. Uh, and and the good news is, since DC did it first, if we see any more of these for other franchises, they we can say they ripped off of DC. They ripped DC's idea off. So
Exactly. What if off this topic? Unless we got more, we got more to talk on about this.
I think I'm good.
If Justice 3,
Oh boy.
Harry Potter as a guest, talk to me.
So on to the next topic.
Aaron doesn't want to Injustice 3, man.
Oh, Chad,
Ed
chill out down there.
Boon's
Calm
just
down.
gonna tear him up that game, man.
So a friend of ours and myself did a video on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/panic in the Discord, where we talked about NetherRealm's DLC antics and why they need to stop putting in guest characters into their games. Check out that video. The next topic, Halo Infinite. Let's kind of transition. Our next couple topics are going to be gaming related. Let's talk about Halo Infinite's delays being blamed on outsourcing. Guys,
They're crazy.
I think yes. I think we can all agree that Halo Infinite being delayed, all in all, is a pretty good decision.
Great decision.
It's something that we all
The only
understand,
one they
something
can
that we can all
make.
get. Yeah.
It is the only decision they can make. The game's not done. The viewers watching this right now, if you've seen the Halo Infinite trailer, it looks like a fucking Xbox 360 game. It just does. Right now it does. And they were saying that they were running the demo and the trailer on similar hardware to the Xbox Series X. So there is no excuse that there's all these graphical problems.
Mm.
So the delay is the only decision they could have made for the game. Now, I'm kind of skeptical on them releasing the console in November, but that's just, we're talking about delay and it being blamed outsourcing. But it's like with the outsourcing, I think the coronavirus probably impacted this. It's like it forced
just
their
like
hand.
a lot of companies, COVID-19 was this pandemic that stalled out a lot of companies, impacted the entire world. But kind of like what you said, I think it's a great decision to.
Right.
You think Xbox? Hello, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. You're banking. If you're putting all your eggs in that basket, that needs to be the best damn egg out there. You can't give us a low budget. I'm gonna say Xbox 360 from a graphic standpoint, but it needs to be on point because this is your franchise. This is what you're putting all your eggs in the basket for.
Making the game look bad. Making the game look bad, look old as hell. Then on top of that, you hyped up your console to be the most powerful console in the world, and this is what you do to your first party game. This is what it looks like at the end of the day.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
And I mean, Microsoft, and again, not saying graphics is the be all end all, but that's what Microsoft is telling us. They're telling us we're putting out the strongest, best, console out there. That's what you're selling us on. Then you need to, stay true to that. Can't say you're the best around when it comes to this Xbox PS5 debate. This is not coming from a fanboy standpoint. It's just you're telling us this. You're selling your consumers on this. That needs to stay true. You can't pull out your best first party game looking like a 60 version. It doesn't work that way.
Right, and no one's making it a big deal out of it other than Microsoft.
Exactly.
Like no one is complaining about it, but they're the ones saying that, they're saying all this shit.
Exactly.
They're like promising this is industry changing stuff
Right.
for consoles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is the example they give. Now, to be fair, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chad. What you got?
I was gonna say other games they showed had some good visuals to it. The Everwild looked kind of, and I want to say Avowed looked, but it didn't look like it was next gen. It just looked like a good render. It just looked like a good non-gameplay render. So they have not proven that console is as strong as they say it is.
Exactly.
They just haven't.
I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. Again, it's not just about the graphics,
Right.
because we can say like some of the best stories I played on PS1, PS2. I mean, so it's not just from a graphic standpoint.
But
That's what you guys are selling. That's what you're selling us all on. Is like I said, we're putting out the best product out there. You gotta live
yeah,
up
we're
to the
taking your word
expectations.
for it.
You're gonna take
We're
our word
taking-
for that.
And we're taking your word for it. And
Right.
what we see was not what we expected.
It's not what we expected. So now when you get the criticism, you can't be on defensive mode or defensive mindset. It's like, this is what you told us. You're not living up to that. From a graphic standpoint, if we're going to talk about it, PC is still the way to go. If you guys are wanting to go from a graphical standpoint, visuals, you're going to go PC, right? That's
It's
kind of the
good.
way it goes.
It's still crazy to me that they was gonna release that game this year. And I honestly do think if there was no backlash, they would have went through and released that game this year.
I agree with that.
No, yeah, I
If
believe
they did
that.
not receive any criticism, the criticism that they received, I think they would have dropped it this year. Absolutely. That would have been a launch title.
Yes.
And my problem with
Mm-mm.
Microsoft, and again, you guys can step in, chime in. My problem with Microsoft is their first party developers. Not saying like exclusives is that's what sells a product, but you're dropping Halo, which is one of your biggest, or if not the biggest, first party title that you have. Once you drop that on launch, what do we have to look for?
'Cause-
Obviously 2021.
Because right now, since Forza and Gears basically dropped, like Gears 5 came out last year, so they're not making a 6 no time soon for next gen. So that's got to wait like at least another year or two from now
Before it even starts development.
before 6 can be a thing. And Forza, that depends on what move they in. I think they're on Forza 4 or 5 right now, and they got those 2 other spin-offs, Horizon and stuff. So they always bounce between the two. So they come in and out whenever they want to. But those 2 games are not being made no time soon because they just came out really recently. So hey, all the buck is behind Halo right now. So you think all the attention would be there for Halo? Everything would look good. Development's going through smoothly and all. Even with Corona still being there, they still should get a decent amount looking good and all that. Corona or not, I don't care what no one says.
Well, that's something that we also need to address. 343 said a couple weeks ago that the delays was because of COVID-19. Now, the reason why I thought this was a little bit weird was because I'm not doubting that's not true. Like Charles had already said, COVID slammed a lot of projects. Where this isn't news. The problem is the time that it came out. The timing of 343 saying that just seemed a little bit weird because if COVID really did a whole production like that, they would have said that months ago. They wouldn't have said that after the demo where they got clowned for putting that as like the forerunner of that show. And as far as outsourcing goes, might be a little bit of a cheat because Geno and I have talked about this a little bit before, but apparently now it's not a new thing to outsource your game. A lot of games do get outsourced to work on little things, sometimes different modes, sometimes like the single player and the multiplayer are made by different development studios. That's not new. But allegedly Halo Infinite outsourced a lot of its game to other companies. And Gino and I were talking about this some time ago, and basically we concluded, why would you outsource your first party that hard?
Do it.
Why would you putting it in the hands of so many other people? Like at that point, it's bound to be a mess.
Can't do
That
it.
and does Microsoft
I
know about
know.
this? I hope they don't
What?
know about it. I hope they just found out like the rest of us did. But
You can't do that.
if I was Microsoft and found out about it, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, hold up, bro, we paying y'all to make our game. What are you doing asking all these other people to come in and do all this? I hope that money for paying them is coming out of y'all pockets because it ain't coming out of ours.
We're paying you a hefty penny, especially for this franchise. This is our moneymaker when it comes to the Microsoft brand. You're gonna outsource? You kidding me?
Right.
No way. I mean, that's just, you can't do that. That's unacceptable if that's the case.
What were you gonna say, Chad?
I think I know what they could have outsourced because I heard that they listed a job posting for somebody. I can't remember the official description, but basically it was, somebody come put a microtransaction. I think they might have outsourced at least that to somebody, and that pisses me off because a couple of years ago they were saying they weren't going to be aggressive transaction game.
Mm-hmm.
But they also said free multiplayer, which I don't know how that works because Xbox Live isn't, which is already making me consider PC. Why the fuck do I Live?
That's not
Especially
necessarily
since they're tying Xbox Live to Game Pass. They removed the $60 a year option, and now they're kind of like forcing and funneling into this other payment. And I'm just thinking, but I never asked for it. So you just taking people's money now? It's like, what the fuck is going on? At the end of the day, they're making like a list of, and I don't know what they're going to have to fall back on. Mistakes to find the start of their generation.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they reveal the multiplayer was going to be free to play before the showcase, right? Or was it after?
After? I believe.
Check that out.
I want to say after.
Because if it was after, that's damage control.
No, I believe you. I believe you. Yeah.
I think even with, correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm not obviously into Microsoft or Xbox these days. So Game Pass mindset. It feels like it's like a Netflix, and you're trying to give us this subscription to games and this and that. You're selling us on Game Pass, but for me, if you're gonna sell me on something, like at least games to quality, it needs to be there. Don't sell me on this bullshit. I want to have good quality games on the Pass. What do you guys thoughts on that?
I understand that where you come from. That Game Pass is doing them a lot of favors right now. That's been well received. Last time I checked with it, by a lot of people.
I just think Game Pass should be in the package. Like if you want to have a $10 a month Game Pass bundle, or if you want to have Xbox Live and Game Pass bundle $15 a month or whatever, that's fine. But forcing people away from the dollar option, that's bullshit.
Wait,
that
so
is complete.
Is it required, Chad, to have Game Pass?
I'm pretty sure now, unless you want to pay per month, which is more expensive, or per 3 months, which it's going to be like upwards of $100 a year to play online, which just so anti-consumer. Like I just can't. It can't be excused at this point. Now Nintendo and Sony have cheaper online options.
I mean, honestly, of course, from a financial standpoint, I get it. But if I'm gonna spend $400 to $500 on your console, you're gonna charge me on top of that to play online. And I get it. You got to make money. It's a money making business, but you got to have free online. think we need to get to the point where just online availability, because everyone can't afford that. I know it's like, oh,
Or
it's just $10.
It
Still, that's $10 more than some people can afford out there.
it don't have to be free per
yeah,
se,
it just needs to be
but
cheaper.
it shouldn't be costing as much as a
Yeah.
goddamn game.
Like they need to do it like Nintendo's doing it.
Like Nintendo's doing that beautifully, and I like it. I don't care how crappy their service is over there. It's just that's a reasonable price for everyone.
But of
$20
course.
a year, you're done.
But look at Nintendo though. We're talking about Nintendo. They are a what? They're family friend, family friendly brand type of company. That's what they're all
Yeah.
for the children, for everyone. It's like that's what Nintendo does. That's their mindset, and that's why they sell so well over on the Nintendo.
Like
Also,
so when you like
in
on
that
the Switch-
online deal that you pay for Nintendo,
Go ahead, Joe.
you get to play like really old Nintendo titles
do
like
like that.
NES, SNES. That is the way you bundle online in a backwards generational Game Pass, which is what Xbox is. They are also doing it, but I just think Nintendo's doing it better. Their titles are also more legendary because fucking
Yeah.
Mario,
Everything was on
Mario
Nintendo back
2.
then.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if we're gonna talk about first party games, let's be honest. Nintendo's definitely they're definitely top tier when it comes to.
You
first
should not
party.
be saying that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be saying that.
Why
You're the
not?
last. You're the last one in here.
You're the last one who should say that.
What you mean?
Man, you don't be on your Switch like that. Don't
I'm
give me
not
that.
talking about the Switch. I play
I don't
these
care,
games.
but-
Come at me.
But you can still get on the Switch and play those old games you talk about. So
I've already played though. I'm just saying you got
You said Nintendo didn't have first party.
yeah,
you
we
got
the footage.
Zelda or Link. You got Mario. You got Star Fox.
Oh man, Link has his own game now. Goddamn, when did that happen?
You got what we
I
got
must
over
have
there?
missed that.
You got Donkey Kong.
Yeah, here we
like
go.
they got first. Don't play the kill.
Pokemon.
That's not what you said.
Gotta
Yeah,
catch
man,
'em
no.
all.
Yeah, that's not what I
You
said, but we weren't live. Now I gotta say what I gotta say. Come on.
Yeah, man. What's the? Come on, or it's a confession hour, Charles. What you got? What Nintendo fact do we need to know about you? Come on.
Right. What's your Nintendo hot take this episode?
Nintendo hot take.
Boy.
This could be like a regular occurring.
This is gonna be a
thing.
regular thing.
Yeah, this is a regular thing. I'm gonna make this a regular thing. It just has to happen every episode. You got
What's your hot take about Nintendo?
Breath of the Wild was overrated.
You didn't even play it.
Oh,
Stop.
I got that. What you mean?
You don't go on your Switch.
Nah, I ain't played all the way. No, I ain't gonna cap on you. You live. Probably played the first 45 minutes.
It's overrated. Okay, you just so you're getting Breath of the Wild 2 then, right? When that drops, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that looked clean though from that trailer. I'll watch a YouTube video or two.
Yeah, man. You get to
Wow.
finally, you actually get to fight Ganon this time.
Yeah.
I know you want to do that.
But overall, like I
Right,
said,
right.
back on topic. Overall, it's more on the side of if Halo's outsourcing. That's a terrible move. That's a terrible move by them.
Yeah. Trash
Well,
move.
it being outsourced that much, and just back to the delay a little bit. Listen, Halo Infinite being delayed, great, but people need to stop pushing this narrative that this is going to hurt the Xbox Series X because now the Series X won't launch with any significant launch titles. I'm not saying that that's not true, but neither does the PS5. So we need to stop pushing this narrative and putting it against Microsoft when Sony is doing the same thing. When they're in the same spot, but no one is saying shit about Sony.
I mean, look at the narrative because it's been done before. Look back at back at the PS3. The PS3 dropped. I mean, what launch title stood out to you guys when the PS3 dropped?
What was the launch titles?
Exactly, that's the point. I mean, you can't knock Microsoft because I mean PS3 they struggled off the bat whenever the PS3 first dropped. It took a while for them to get that steam going.
Yeah.
It happened, and honestly, this is going to be different when consoles. You guys willing to commit, at launch, or are you willing to wait a couple months? But also, what are the units going to be looking like? They're saying that the supply is going to be up there, but you're going to be able to cop one of these 5-6 months down the road with no problem, or is it going to be a struggle?
Might be a struggle, maybe.
I mean, but right now, if it's just me, on my personal opinion, I'm not copping either one of them on launch. I'm just not interested.
I feel you.
And
Just don't waste your money. That's all it comes down to is what what's in your wallet? How are you going to vote with your wallet? You're going to vote for games that you already have on the current system? Like, for either one. You're going to spend upwards of $500 or $400. You're going to do that? I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
I already said, just if you have the money to get one and you just want to get the purchase out the way so you don't have to worry about it later, go ahead and get it. That's the only reason I can come up to get one. Other than that, don't bother. But
let's put it into this perspective. They say that they got the supply to match it. Who's gonna reasonably spend $500 during a pandemic on something they arguably don't need?
The economy at this point is just it's different. I mean, this is a whole new situation for us in 2020.
All right.
Like I said, overall, again, staying on topic, the delay definitely worth it. It's much needed.
Just not the outsourcing.
Outsourcing. Yeah. I mean, again, if you want to outsource a little bit, but if they're outsourcing to the extent that it's being reported on, you can't do that with the first party, especially not with
not as one as grand as Halo.
Yeah, not the type of mystique that Halo brings to
them. All right. So seems like that we got that out the way. Next topic we got Control Ultimate Edition will get a free next gen upgrade, base version of the game. So guys, we got games already like Cyberpunk and Avengers that have been revealed that if you buy them on the current gen and you buy the next gen console, you can upgrade to that version for free. Okay. Control is only doing that for their enhanced edition, which is just the game and its season pass. And it's just a giant fuck you to the consumer, basically. If you bought this game day one, if you pre-ordered it, if you bought it when it came out and the season pass, you're not getting this free next gen upgrade.
Just because it's not the enhanced version?
Because it's not the enhanced version. And by the way, the Ultimate Edition just came out recently. So it's really just a marketing ploy. And it's very anti-consumer. It's bullshit. And we need... All right. Let's talk about it.
So if I bought the game at day one, got all its DLC, and I have all that, I won't be able to upgrade that shit. Right? No. That's what I'm getting, right?
Nope, not for free. Yep.
All right. I think the biggest issue for me is, I mean, they haven't really necessarily explained why. Have they? I haven't seen anything came out.
I'm going to read you what I found. There's a couple of reports. I really only picked out a couple very specific statements from these interviews that I have read. The first one is, "We're sorry we couldn't meet all expectations." Even though this could have been completely avoided so easily. You didn't need to think about it too
walk
hard.
Up stage and it's like, "Hey, we're sorry. We're done. Have a good night."
This sounds like BP gas right now. We're sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry we fucked everything up.
What do you mean, like, sorry we fucking meet expectations?
What? Like, why didn't you meet them?
Exactly. Why didn't you meet them? Like, "Hey, sorry, I fucked up on your burger when I was making it. I didn't meet your expectation." Sorry. Like, no, like that's not how that works.
Make me another.
Like, this is what I'm paying you for.
And this is the kicker right here. We had to make some difficult decisions.
Oh, that line
for you guys. Was difficult? It's beneficial for you guys. What do you mean it's difficult?
That's what they said with Halo. Oh my.
Like, that's not, as a consumer, that's not what we want to hear. I hear that it's difficult, can't meet our expectations. Like, for me,
I hate it when
if you're gonna drop I'm not gonna support you. I don't want to support a developer like that.
Right.
I hate when the developer says we had to come to the difficult decision of such and such. I'm like, why is it difficult?
It shouldn't have to.
It should be obvious to y'all because it's obvious to us. So, what was difficult about it? It's
Right.
crazy.
Now, since we've already mentioned, Cyberpunk and Avengers are going to be doing this stuff, I just think, me personally, if you're going to be spending so much money on a next gen console, I think free next gen upgrades is just proper etiquette. Like that should just be common. You're throwing so much money aside for, really just a stronger you had before.
Mhm.
You're going to be paying the $60 again to play the same game? Like, no, that's fucking bullshit.
Not only that, like I gotta check an article out, but even like for example, for NBA 2K, like they're upping the price on that. Not even $60 at this point.
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe it's
that's
$70.
Mhm.
No, and I
Everyone's
don't know
hoping.
exactly if they went out and said if they're gonna have a free upgrade from current gen, but it's tough, man.
Man.
At this point, are you willing to commit $70 on next gen titles?
Hey man, it has Kobe on it, so we're charging y'all 70, bro.
I mean, for me, I have to buy it. It's Kobe.
Rest in peace.
I have to get that. Yeah, absolutely. But just overall, like, that's another thing we can talk about. Like, the price points, is that upping? Whenever these new consoles coming out, or are we staying around the $60 mark?
Man, I hope we stay in $60.
It's even tough right now committing to $60 on some of these games.
Right.
We're already on like the outer edge of 65 to some degree, so
Pretty much, yeah.
that's already pushing it.
So at this point,
But
it'd be
I don't want no
75.
70.
That's right.
Oh,
And it's hard because let's say, of course, in the way the trade-in value works off at GameStop, you buy a new game, next day you trade it in, you get $2 for it.
$2 for it. Yeah.
Exactly. But you're making this huge commitment. I'm gonna spend $75 on this game, and it's not even worth it. Like you're paying you're paying for like a 4-hour playthrough.
That games nowadays ain't having that type of content to merit that price.
No,
On top
there's
of
only
that, so.
a handful of titles like you guys are big on it. I can't speak on it, but like P5, like if that game dropped or P5R, if that dropped at full price, it has enough content where it's justifiable.
Right.
For me, God of War, justifiable. Like the replay value is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just certain games.
Right. So anyways, fuck Control. Fuck that studio.
And
Free next gen upgrades.
Isn't
needs
that
to
a
be
505 or Remedy studio?
one of those.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, you brought us Alan Wake. Like, come on now.
Ah, shit. Damn.
What I'm saying, Alan Wake was, again, Microsoft. They need to do what they need to do and get that going again. That was a big launch. I mean, that was a big title when it dropped for Xbox.
Got all these.
What was that game that dropped? Man, it was. I feel like it flopped. The one with Bobby Drake, Iceman.
Quantum Break.
Trash. I was like, my man Bobby, why y'all doing him like this, man?
I didn't even pay attention to it.
My man, and they tried to sell that game hard. They sold
They
it real
did.
hard.
Yeah.
They promoted the shit. I give them credit. They promoted that game.
It was like it's good. It's good that they're promoting it and they're actually having some faith in this series. But god damn it, man!
They tried. They tried to put him on every
Xbox
it didn't
commercial.
Turn out
good. It did not turn out
good.
Get
Bobby off my screen, Bobby.
Bobby.
God damn.
Bobby.
All right. Yeah. All right. Fuck Control. Moving on. This one should be a little bit shorter because none of us have played this game, but we wanted to talk about it. Fall Guys.
Fall Guys. What is going on with Fall Guys? What? I mean, it's taken over the video game side of things, like Twitch.
It's the new hotness right now.
It's hot. It's hot and it's working its way to GOAT status as we speak. That's what it is.
It is definitely. It's doing something right. I mean, everyone's definitely on top of it.
Yeah. Hopefully they can keep up the steam for it. I know they're doing seasons. Did you look up or see how long their seasons are supposed to last in that game?
I haven't, no.
Because I freaking haven't looked myself out, but I'm just curious because that's going to be ultimately what defines that game for me, in my opinion. Not that I could play it anyway, 'cause, I don't got a PC or a PlayStation, so.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, just you go to Twitch, like Fall Guys, 134,000 viewers right now. It's just dominating out there.
Yeah, man. Everyone can hop in and play it and suffer and enjoy themselves. When's the stream, though?
I mean, of course, Fortnite is still up there, and just kind of looking through it real quick. Fortnite, surprisingly, 143,000 viewers total for Fortnite.
But yeah, we don't talk about them. So.
Modern Warfare, 157,000. So, I mean, outside of that, Fall Guys is definitely the hot topic right now when it comes to video game.
Yeah, man.
But
all ages.
The key point is like how or will they be able to maintain that steam?
I think it'll be come down to how they handle the seasons. I really do think that game their seasons need to be like a month long. I think a month or a month and a half long, because I can't see that game pushing one season to be like 2 or 3 months long, because that for that game, that's absurd. That's not going to last too long.
It doesn't. You don't think it has the staying power?
Yeah, it has like the same little stages, not that many stages for that type of longevity. So I really do think it needs to do a season every month. But I don't think they're doing that.
I mean, I don't know. Battle Royale is just bring the hell out of me. All I can think about is they're always. I know the next Call of Duty is gonna have it. Halo's gonna have it, and I'm just kind of sick. Probably Fortnite got me. I'll still see what Fall Guys. I don't think it's gonna overtake it, but it'll probably. Fortnite's just gonna stay around for. That's just fact.
Yeah, man.
It takes a long time for this VR trend. It might be in hell right now.
Right. I mean, they definitely, at least from what I've seen, like at least as far as the developers for Fall Guys, they seem very involved.
Oh,
I think that's key whenever they're well connected with the community.
They are very involved from what I saw.
Right.
I mean, I guess that can be a gift and a curse, especially like for the more popular. I always felt like it's always like a dangerous thing. I don't want to get too off topic, but like for example, for fighting games, the developers that's really involved in fighting games, like with the community, I feel like they listen to like the top tier players. I think that's how they judge their balancing, patching. Like that's always kind of a 50-50 type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Check it out. Like I haven't personally really watched any footage on it, but
you heard it here first, guys. Charles is gonna stream Fall Guys.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's gonna stream it.
I'll get a first dub within my first 4 games.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's cap, but yeah, sure. That's not happening. As much as we would like to see that happen within 4 games, that's not happening.
Stay tuned.
Nah. That's if the PS4 gets booted up. That's the real question, or the PC. So, we'll see if we get that far. Yeah.
All right. So,
what you got for Fall Guys, Eric?
I mean, nothing really different from what everyone else has said. I guess what I like about it, it's a very different type of BR. So would I say that this contributes to the oversaturation of the genre? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it still kind of is, because it's still another game within the genre. It's just a nice spin on things. How many shooter BRs are we gonna get? Until forever, till the end of time, we're gonna get so many. But like with the success of Fall Guys, I want to see more Fall Guys, or I want to see more kinds of Fall Guys. Like this could be
spins of the battle royale.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to see new inventive BRs. Like we just had another shooter BR in Hyperscape, where you escape into the cyber chase, as to say. it's like how many more of these are we gonna get? You feel me? Like
Because the only other different BRs that come to mind off the top of the dome with Fall Guy is that Tetris Battle Royale they released last year. I think it was last year on the Switch.
Yeah.
But basically Battle Royale Tetris. And I'm like, what? Tetris?
Yeah, and it's pretty fun to watch, actually. I like watching.
That crap, that's a little bit way too addicting to watch, way more than it should be. But
right.
I was like, this is an interesting way of a battle royale here. Okay, Tetris. You gotta be an old head to play it, but shoot.
Dude, that game is hard. I mean, I never got near first. Not even close to first. I suck at Tetris. But I think you said it just needs different genres. Maybe there's just an oversaturation in shooting in general.
Yeah,
I mean, we get a Halo every 3, 4, 5 years. We get a Call of Duty every. We get all kinds of.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody bats an eye. That's probably the one genre that's.
Is it like when it comes to video games? That's just a moneymaker.
Yeah, it's gonna make money. Unless you're EA. Then we're just gonna ruin your experience.
Don't start.
Yeah.
This is not an EA podcast. This is not an EA episode. And we're not gonna get into that can last a whole episode.
We do not endorse EA.
Yeah.
Fuck EA.
Fuck EA.
All you have to say
all my homies hate EA.
Just say Anthem. That's all you have to say.
And that's just one of many things.
One of many.
Just one of many. So for our last topic, let's shift the gears from gaming into sports real quick. Let me actually throw the mic over to Chad. Let's talk about UFC for a little bit. What you got first?
Well, we agreed to cover UFC 252. Is that true? Nothing else?
Whatever you got, Chad.
Just that event?
Talk about 252, or you can just kind of talk about the landscape. You the boss. We following.
Well, okay. Well, I want to talk about 3 fights that were on the card. Then we talk about the landscape of it. 2 bantamweight. I know not a lot of people watch bantamweight. Merab Dvalishvili, judo player, sambo player. He kind of fights like Khabib does. He's a badass. This guy's pretty much a badass as well. He had a pretty dominant win over John Dodson.
He's been around for a while.
John Dodson has been around forever. He fought Mighty Mouse a couple times, I believe.
Yeah, yep.
A couple close ones. Had good takedown defense, but this Merab guy, he was, but in terms of getting his opponent, pretty relentless. I feel bad for anybody that has to fight this guy for 25 minutes if ever makes it.
Oh man, it's like that.
Yeah, like 25 minutes of just getting pushed up to the fence and getting kneed in the ass. Like the first round of this fight was the striking ratio was 33-3. It just wasn't close.
Ooh.
Now it wasn't like a lot of damage. Nobody was bleeding or cut or bruised or anything. But when your offense just gets shut down completely like that, you just gotta Now, I mean, I don't know what you. What can your coach tell you to do if the guy's just a better grappler? So, did you see any highlights on that, Charlie? I sent you only the Daniel Cormier fight, but I'm not sure if you saw
I definitely went back and checked out everything. So, it was definitely an impressive. Because it ended up going. It was a unanimous decision, I believe.
Yeah,
but
it was.
Overall, like I said, he was. I mean, he looked pretty impressive. He looked impressive. I didn't have him on my radar, but he's definitely someone I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for.
Right, because he's ranked. I'm pretty sure in the top in bantamweight, and bantamweight's looking like one of the most stacked divisions.
It's exciting. It's
lightweight. It really is, and I'd say, and some other analysts said that top 25 in that division on any night champion. I don't know if that's true. because the current champ Piotr Jan, that guy, his boxing is way too sharp. But we'll see. You gotta fight it out to prove who's best. So, but speaking of bantamweights, wait, Aaron, okay, I'm not gonna jump forward that quick. Aaron, did you see? Did you see that one?
Stipe versus Cormier?
No. Merab Dvalishvili and John Dodson.
No, the other one was the only one you sent me. I didn't watch. I didn't watch that.
It was the first match of the night, right, on the main card, Chad?
Yeah, the first match, and then after that was sometime after that was Sean. Oh no, Sean O'Malley was co-main.
That was the
This was
co-main event.
surprise.
Okay.
Yeah, they were pushing Sean O'Malley. You should have seen the promos for. They compared him to Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov. They compared him to Amanda Nunes, who's a two-belt female champ. She's the greatest female fighter of all time. He got compared to Lamar Jackson. They're comparing him to a completely an athlete in a completely different sport. They are overhyping this guy.
Yeah.
And he loses.
Right
Yeah.
there.
He fucking loses
right.
after all this hype.
I guess, I mean, he definitely got promoted quite a bit. But I guess from like a marketing standpoint, what UFC is trying to do is maybe try to build a future star. Because he's a young kid, right? He's like 20, 25. I think maybe from like a marketing standpoint, they're trying to build up more, stars out there, young phenoms. I think definitely got overhyped. He ended up getting knocked out. Yeah,
that's good. Good record. That's good. Sure.
Well, it was
The caveat.
Go ahead, Chad.
I was gonna say a caveat to he. I think his leg broke. No, it didn't break. A nerve got struck during the fight, and he lost feeling in his leg and walked. He got knocked down. He got knocked out. A lot of people are looking at his injury that caused the fight. And in all fairness, that probably has, significant, effect on the outcome of the fight because he was the prohibited favorite. He was like minus.
All right. Like, how bad? How was the leg injury? Like, was it broke, strained?
He had a history of this side of his leg.
Oh, one of those. Okay. Yes.
But during the fight, he was trying to kick his opponent, but he got kicked. And it was a good kick by was it Marlon Vera?
Mm-hmm.
What was his Vera? Okay, see,
Marlon.
they don't promote enough people. Like you'll hear about one guy, you won't even hear about that guy's opponent. So, anyways, the hype train is over or slowing down at least for a little bit. He's not going to be fighting for a few months.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's a
Now we
good
can
review
talk
there,
about-
sir. Well, that's a good analyzation there, son.
It's not a word.
What's up, Geno?
I know.
Dude, making a word on the fly? What? Like, that's a good chicken dinner realization.
Oh,
It's like, what?
Don't get me hungry, my guy. All right.
I know.
I
I'm
want to
just
get hungry right now. Oh Lord.
But yeah, what you got? We got the main event. We got Stipe versus DC.
Yeah, that was quite a fight. I think it was quite a one-sided fight. Did you guys see the highlight?
I did.
So,
That's
overall,
all
before getting into it a little bit, I thought DC was gonna win the rubber match, but I mean, Stipe, he's definitely one of the GOATs. Well, from a heavyweight standpoint,
the man got him with the pokes.
yeah, that eye poke was that eye poke.
That was
brutal.
nasty.
That
That was
just
nasty.
It was brutal.
They traded eye pokes. Did they show DC eye poking him first in the highlight video?
I think they showed Stipe doing it first. Then
Oh, that's not how it happened. because
if I remember
DC
correctly.
did the eye poke in like round 2 or something.
Mm.
And DC and the Stipe did it to DC in round 4.
Yeah, I think they just focused on Stipe's because that was just much more
Yeah,
aggressive.
he was like.
Oh yeah, no, it went like it was pretty deep.
He actually like tried to get that finger in there.
Yeah,
Bro.
it was tough.
The thing is, I kind of just don't like how they focus on one and not the other, because in the 2 fights previous, DC I poked him in each of those fights.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fair.
I feel like it's kind of weird that the analysts, like the live analysts, were not making a big deal about one or the other in the previous. They're biased. They're just straight up biased. And Joe Rogan, he's an entertainer. Don't get me wrong, but goddamn, I do not like his commentaries.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember too. I mean, DC is a commentator as well, so I mean that's his guy. That's their guy. Part of the team.
Yeah.
Stipe had his good pokes here and there. They was mostly feeling each other out for a good portion of the fight, though. But that's what they do. I'm not gonna get on them for that. He made DC have to lock up in a lot of situations though, because he started overwhelming in a lot of.
Definitely.
DC got like he made Stipe lock up like at least once or twice, but compared to how many times Stipe made DC lock up,
Stipe almost got knocked out in the first round.
That's
He did. He almost did get knocked out. I think he almost got DC in the second, knocked him down and wall mounted him at the very end. It was a close round until that happened. And then the rest of the fight, I feel like DC being like 40 years or 39 or something, I forget. He's up there. I mean, you shouldn't really be fighting after 35. I mean, at some point your heart rate just won't go up as high as what it would when
age is going to slow you down.
Oh yeah, he was out of breath on them later rounds. He was clearly out of breath.
Yeah.
Right. Father.
And I realized when I was watching, now that I'm remembering the fight, I realized that I don't remember these rounds worth nothing. I'll remember a moment, but I won't remember which round it happened in.
Right, because the highlights are only 10 minutes long, and the fight was the full 25 minutes. So it's probably hard to see the rounds during the highlights.
Oh no! It's not the highlight. That's just a me problem more than I for the life.
Fair.
I will remember a moment, but I will not remember that round. But all in all, that fight, yeah, they had their moments. That eye poke was kind of jacked up, but DC got overwhelmed and got tired in them later rounds.
You can definitely tell he lost. He definitely gassed towards.
Well, his game plan going to the fight was out grappling Stipe. DC made to the viewers might not watch UFC or mixed martial that much. Cormier made he was made the Olympic team twice, and before that he got second place in NCAA tournament 9. He lost to Cale Sanders, considered the greatest collegiate wrestler ever. So he came second to the fucking greatest. He probably would have won in any other weight classes if he went up or down that. He's a great wrestler. But he got out wrestled. He got out wrestled the other night by Stipe. Like Geno said, he got locked up. Stipe got double underhooks. That's just like one arm under each under the other arm of the opponent. Up to the fence and out pummeled him. So that's a way to win around. Just stick your opponent in a place where they can't move and knee him, hit him.
Yeah, get your gut checks in. Kidney shots, knees. Yeah, you're good to go right there. Rack up the points. Yeah.
Totally.
So
anything yet?
Let's talk about the heavyweight division after this fight. What's going on? We got Francis Ngannou. We got John Jones talking about going to heavyweight. He vacated the light heavyweight belt after so many years with some inside that ring and outside the ring bullshit. But besides that, he's moving up to heavyweight. Charlie, does he get a direct shot at the title, or will he have to face?
I mean, John Jones is my guy. Like, that's my GOAT for sure. But if he's finally going up to heavyweight, even though I feel like he should have went up to heavyweight whenever Kane was dominating in the heavyweight division, at least it's finally happening at this point. I would like to see him have I want to say a warm up, but I definitely don't think he should go directly to Stipe. I think it would have been different if he kept his light heavyweight championship belt, but he gave that up. If you haven't saw that, he announced that on Twitter, vacating the belt. So in that case, I would definitely like to see him go up against Francis. That would be an interesting match. See John Jones and Francis. And I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think. I know they think John Jones is just going to up a division and just dominate, but there's still some killers out there in the heavyweight division. There's definitely some killers. So I would definitely like to see him go up against Francis. Now, if he gets through that, then of course I think he would definitely deserve a title shot against Stipe.
I think so too, because Francis, being the number one contender and having beaten basically every other heavyweight besides DC and he's definitely the number one contender, and you'd think he'd get the first shot. But the problem is, we already saw in Francis and Gano, it was completely one-sided. Francis had about 30 seconds to get it done, and after that, he gassed. The other 24 minutes of the fight, Stipe just dipped.
Francis displays all the potential. I just don't feel like his drive is always there. He's not consistent. He takes his time way too long. He's gonna live or die by the killer shot, right? He's gonna try to go for the knockout. It's not there. He has no ground game. His grappling isn't there.
Damn.
That's why I feel like John Jones would probably do better against people think, because Jones has gotten his face touched in the last 2 or 3 fights he's had, but if the fight goes longer than 2 or 3 rounds, Jones has great stamina. And wrestling, grappling. I know Francis is huge, but it's like you said, his grappling technique is not that. It's not that good. Oh. I remember Brock Lesnar and Randy Couture fighting. Randy Couture is 50 years old. He's 50 years old fighting 30-something-year-old Brock Lesnar. And for 2 rounds, he got Brock just locked up against the fence. If Randy was 40, 10 years younger, he probably would have won that fight just because he's technically a better grappler. He just got overwhelmed.
Makes sense.
So I think with John Jones versus Francis, better prepare for a long fight if he can't, get a knockdown.
I mean, John Jones, like I said, for people that's familiar with him, obviously John Jones doesn't have like the knockout power. Can he win by knockout? Yes. But does he provide like knockout strength? No. Even his boxing game, I feel like his boxing game is decent, not great. Like, I feel like his technique isn't the best when it comes to boxing, John Jones. But as an overall martial artist, hands down, heads and shoulders above Francis when it comes to that department. So I just think he can just outclass him in so many different ways. I just don't think Francis will be prepared for it.
I feel like Stipe probably provided a for how to. And Stipe and John Jones are about the same size, and John Jones has longer arms, whatever. And that's the thing about John Jones is he has like a frame the length of a heavyweight. So him going up and filling out, he's not gonna be too overwhelmed. But at the same time, he is fighting people longer than maybe a little bit bigger than the light heavy, and so I think a tune-up would be maybe not the appropriate word when if he was pit against Francis. That's a that probably be set as a 5-round fight.
That's a card selling fight though, regardless, even if it's a tune up.
Well, speaking of just sales, what do you think? Do you think they'll reach an agreement? Like, because I think John Jones was saying, oh well, they're not offering enough money. Francis was iterating the same. So, what's your thoughts on that? Like, in terms of what is Dana White going to play nice, or is he going to be Dana Pink? Is John Jones being a prima donna? I mean, what's the angle?
I think
yes.
If you're gonna want to get John Jones to the heavyweight division, there's gonna have to be some sort of negotiation. It's gonna have to take place. The money's gonna have to be, and I feel like they're closer than we think. Because for John Jones to just commit to vacating his title, his light heavyweight title, I feel like there's some sort of agreement that's kind of on the horizon for sure for him to make sure he's getting into the heavyweight division. I don't think he would just do it just to do it, just to vacate the belt.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be some kind of
incentive as far as the money that was reported, it's just because right now what's going on, kind of we talked about earlier with Halo and whatnot, like the pandemic, COVID, there's just no way he's gonna get to the price point that they're looking for right now. The economy isn't there.
Wait, what are they looking for? Out of curiosity's sake, or what's the money he looking for?
Deontay Wilder, boxer.
Mm-hmm.
So he is basically saying, like, I want that kind of the money that. And here's the thing: pay scaling in boxing versus UFC. The best boxers make it like 100 times more money than up and coming decent boxers. In the UFC, the best fighters don't make that much more money compared to up and coming fighters. It's like more scaled. There's like a middle class.
Okay.
Whereas if in boxing, you're either like at the top or you're broke.
Okay.
So John Jones wanted a lot of money. He wanted, top tier boxing, which honestly, even if Corona wasn't going on, it would be hard to strike a deal with it. Although if you're the one asking for money, you aim to start your negotiation high and go down. But it's like Charlie said, Corona's affecting everything. They're not going to have a gate for any. They don't have gate for any. No sales, no concession. They're living on pay-per-views and ESPN subscriptions.
Yeah,
and that's enough for something. But everything else, if John Jones fights during a pandemic, he's going to get his $3 million or $5 million.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's some sort of like under the table type of deal that us fans won't hear about, as far as like, hey, once we get rolling again, we'll have something put away. Like if that's maybe a part of some sort of negotiation. Right now, it's just money's not going to be there, especially not they're looking for, especially not boxers type of money. No way.
Oh hell no. Dang.
Why you expect McGregor? Look at why he was so eager to take that Mayweather fight. Looking back on it, he's made the amount of money he made doing that. He's never going to make that in his UFC career.
One time, took it, done.
That's it.
The only thing that makes Conor fight in the UFC now is money fights. He knows he's not. He knows he doesn't have a chance, a big chance against somebody like.
Oh yeah, he's just
hell. Even Justin Gaethje, Justin ever decides to wrestle. I mean, Conor's just been avoiding the top lightweights, and he's just like, well, if I'm going to get my ass whooped again, I better just get a whole bunch of money. So that's the only thing that's selling the rematch, is that it's just another money fight that could potentially, become the number one paper, breaking the other number one.
Sounds about right. That unfortunately, but sounds like he'd do it though.
But I mean, overall, yes, I do feel like John Jones should have a tune-up match, quote unquote tune-up against Francis. I think that's the next big fight that they need to make.
I want to
good.
ask Aaron. So, Aaron, your boy, or our boy, Derek Lewis, he's going to fight Curtis Blades.
Not Derek. Actually, we
Well,
gotta represent
You got a
yes.
problem?
H-Town.
Wait, you got a problem with Derek Lewis?
H-Town, you gotta represent.
Here it is. It's the confession part 2. Here
Yo,
we go.
Derek Lewis, he cracks me up. I want to.
That's why I like. I only watch his fights. Usually,
Yeah, dude, Derek.
I would only go out of my way and watch a Derek Lewis fight just for the post-fight interview.
Dude. Who was it with Ronda Rousey, right? Like he had this obsession with her.
Oh God.
What's Ronda Rousey's hot ass at, or fine ass at, or whatever he said?
Did you say that? Yeah.
God.
Yeah, he said that.
Mm-hmm.
I got to show you more clips of it.
Oh no. No.
But he's also a hell of a fighter because he reported a knockout against. Yeah, he's unorthodox, but he gets knockout. He's just a knockout machine. He has the most knockouts in UFC heavyweight history with his recent KO over Alexei Oleinik. I know that's not UFC, but we're talking about the heavyweight division just in general. We got to talk about Derek Curtis Blades, who, by the way, Curtis Blades, I uploaded a video on my own. He pretty much ragdolled his opponent. It was a little bit more competitive than a ragdoll, but he got 14 takedowns. That's a UFC heavyweight. This is who do you think would win, Charlie? Let me just break the ice with that. Who do you think wins between Derek Lewis and Curtis? It's a striker versus grappler match.
That's hard again. I feel like when it gets to the top competition, it's good to be a specialist and whatnot, but you need to be more. You got to open up your package more, especially when it's the top competition. I feel like with Derek Lewis, of course he has the knockout, but once he gets to the ground, once they start hugging up on him, he doesn't know what to do. And we've seen it in some of his previous matches.
One of these, okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Would I say Derek Lewis would win? Yes, because Derek Lewis. But I feel like for him to take that next step, being a specialist, it can only get you so far, honestly.
No, he needs to dip into the other aspects.
Outside of let's say Khabib, that's what make Khabib his games just so enjoyable to watch, because you can be a casual fan, you know what his game plan is going to be. So as a opponent, you know what his game plan, you know what his blueprint is. You can't stop it. No matter what you try to do, you're not going to be able to stop it. And that's the beauty of it. That's what makes him so dominant, in my opinion. You know what somebody's going to do. You know exactly what they want to do. Still can't stop that. That's crazy.
Rip.
Yeah, Khabib definitely being an example of what probably the best grappling technique. He gets people off balance. I think if he fought welterweights, he'd do the same damn thing to them. Maybe not Kamaru Usman, pretty big, but
yeah, he's pretty.
He just gets people off. But Curtis Blades employs that grappling style that could be the thing that Derek Lewis should be worrying about, because you see him fight Daniel Cormier, didn't go so well. Now, I think Daniel Cormier is probably a better grappler, at least Blades. Maybe not. Yeah. But here's the thing with Derek Lewis. See, unlike Conor McGregor, Derek Lewis can get a knockout. He can get a knockout when he's tired. I just think back to UFC 29. He's fighting the Volkov guy. He's getting his ass whooped. He's getting beat up so fucking bad. In the last 10 seconds, KO's his ass.
All you have to worry about, just don't get knocked out. What happens? Knocked out.
You just had to look out for that one thing.
Yeah, and that's honestly, to kind of piggyback a little bit, that's what John Jones need to kind of keep an eye out on, because one slip up, I know with these light heavyweights you can take a punch. Heavyweights, all it's gonna take is one hit, and you can just be laid out, lights out.
In any round, man. In any round, they carry that power no matter what.
You can take an extra hit too. On top of that, oh boy.
Honestly,
or we take more punishment.
I need to see what Vegas is about Curtis, because while Lewis's grappling is not that good, I have seen him stand up from being out underneath someone. He stood up against Alexei Olenek, and he lasted the round, didn't get submitted, just sort of waited and didn't. He wasn't too threatened, although Alexei Olenek is really old. But you see, Curtis Blades striking, I don't think it's that sharp. It's not bad, but if Curtis Blades is going to be striking with Derek Lewis at all,
yeah,
lights out, man.
It's understandable.
I gotta see what Vegas thinks about that. But other than that, does anybody else have anything to say about that?
I think I'm good here, Mike.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm good overall. I'm excited.
Fight
John
for
Jones
good,
going
though.
heavyweight. I feel like it's long overdue, but look, it's finally happening.
I'll just watch any fight Derek Lewis is.
Facts.
I'm gonna send you other fighters though, because Derek Lewis is good, but there's some other styles that are Khabib, admittedly I fight Connor, but his style's pretty. I'll keep sending more fights you guys' way. I'm sorry you only.
It's all right.
Passing it on to Charlie now. The Lakers fan, the Miami Heat fan, the Cleveland Brown fans, whatever team LeBron is on.
Chill out.
He's a fan
of. Chill out. You capping hard right now. I mean, I'm excited that the Lakers bounced back last night. I'm in a really good mood. I mean, if you guys don't know, the playoffs has started. I won't spend too much time on it. I just honestly want you guys' opinion. From a sports standpoint, the world depends. I wouldn't say depends on it, but even if you're a casual fan, like without sports, it's crazy, right? I think the setup that the NBA ended up doing I think it worked out well. They're testing every single day. If you leave the bubble, which the bubble's in Orlando, Florida, Disney World, pretty much. So, pretty much the concept is if you leave the bubble, which you can, like let's say you have a family emergency, you have a kid, whatever the case, you leave, you come back, you have to be self-quarantined for 4 to 10 days before you can even, come out and play. And if you're playing out there, you have to be tested every single day. I think when I last looked at the statistics on it, last time that there haven't been any cases since early July. Obviously, they're showing a formula that this can work. Just kind of curious, like with football coming back. I know baseball a little bit. I mean, what do you guys think? I know football that they've discussed as far as having no fans. College football apparently is being canceled. A lot of like the Big Ten areas like that, they're deciding to not play. Kind of want you guys' opinion on that. What do you think as far as football? Like, do you think it's going to make a huge difference as far as having fans or not having fans when it comes to sporting events?
Oh, for football? Hell yeah, it'll make a difference. Because what's the point of I'm not saying like there'd be no point going to a game or watching a game, but when you go to another stadium, what's the one thing you fear? Every time
crowd
you
noise.
Go, the crowd noise. Your kicker's about to step up, get the field goal or get the extra point. They got to go against the crowd noise. Also, kicking is a lot harder than some people think. So the pressure's on, but with no crowd, no pressure.
Oh yeah.
It's just a bunch of angry moms and dads, maybe drunk, burgers and hot dogs.
Precise,
but
no noise, no nothing. Just
that's a big thing. Like of course for us, Chad, our team, the Packers, like Aaron Rodgers, what does he like to do? Audible, hard counts. be non-existent. You're not going to be able to psych out the defense doing a hard count and trying to get them off sides at this point, get a free play. Not going to be able to do that without the crowd noise. Kind of like the NBA. Like right now, like yes, they're in the bubble. Yes, they're safe. Yes, we're playing games. But the way that the seeding works, obviously what the NBA is, you're the number one seed. You got you have home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs. You have the crowd on your side. Now, if you're the number one seed, it doesn't make a difference because you're playing in a pretty much an empty gym. Best of 7. It's like a overpaid AAU tournament. I don't know, Geno, Aaron, you got any thoughts on that? Kind of like sports going in this direction? You guys feel like it's going to stay this way for the next year or so?
And as long as they can keep it safe and keep everyone healthy, they're doing their job, right?
Right.
Yeah, like if the regimen is that intense, then I think it's just kind of interesting. Like never really been a big sports guy, but so I'm just looking at this from the outside in. I like that they're being very careful. What I don't like is that schools are not being this careful. That's my thing.
Oh, it's just
Do you guys feel
That's
we can touch on that a little bit, like with school, for example? I know a lot of kids started back up and they're doing a lot of web conferences, Microsoft Teams. Do you feel that they should just ride this out, or do you feel like you guys are good with starting back up school?
Man,
they just need to be better about it.
I just say just let your kids go viral with online learning and be done with it. It's already bad enough the parents got to go out there to work whatever job they working on. So that's already a risk right there. They don't need another double risk with their kids going to school. And again, these are little kids. Right now, they don't know there's a pandemic going on. They don't even know this shit is happening. They going there to learn, have fun with their friends while they're there, have recess, all the while. Now they got this third unholy rule above their head now all of a sudden that they didn't experience last year. Oh, you can't come in contact with your friend no more like that. So that's why I separate that bit or don't touch him as much. That's going to throw that crap off. The kids ain't going to understand that. They ain't going to understand why. They're going to think the teacher's being mean to them or some shit like that, They don't know this pandemic's being a thing right now. Talking about, middle school down. Like, they don't know this shit going down like that. Middle school up, you can kind of make it
figure
work.
It out yourself, log onto a laptop, especially in this day and age. I think, for little kids, like, especially like the pre-K, especially that range, it's hard. Like, you want these kids to log into computers, laptops, tablets at o'clock in the morning. Well, what about the parents that have to go to work? How are they arranging that? I feel like it's just a tough situation right now because not everyone can coordinate or have that ideal situation where they can be there and help these kids all throughout the day. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I no, because I totally understand both sides. I work at a tutoring center. I have had parents express their concerns like, no, like my kid needs someone's undivided attention. Like doing it over a camera with someone on the other end just doesn't work. They can't pay attention. They're just having too much problems focusing. And I understand that, but it's also like, with we're talking about young kids. Like when kids get to a certain age and when you have a smartphone, you have the internet at your fingertips. You can learn anything. Just fucking Google it, look up whatever you need to, and you're done with it. When you get to that point, what's the delineation between an in-person class and a class online? I don't think it's that big. Now, little kids need a strong foundation. I understand that. The problem is it's not all like, is it really all just the responsibility of the instructors? Because it's the parents too. The parents teach these kids habits. If a kid isn't going to focus and pay attention, that's a habit that they learned from their parents, or it was just disciplining them enough to really get them into that mindset. I have had I've taught 7-year-old, 8-year-olds, first, second graders, completely obedient, never said a thing back to me, just did their work. I have had older kids than them just constantly complain, talking about, oh, I don't want to do it, coming up with a million excuses, and throwing shit at me on like the worst days and stuff. You need a solid foundation, but how do you build it with everything going on? It's like Geno said, they don't understand the levity of the situation. They're coming in. They probably come in, with their mask and gloves. Don't even know why they have to come in like that. They're asking, why can't I sit next to my friend during lunch, or during class, or why can't we go out to? Why are there so little people out in recess? Right? Like,
confuse them. They don't know what the hell's going on.
It's hard. Like I both sides.
Absolutely.
Because that's just gonna suck. I'll be so confused if I was going through that.
It's definitely tough times. Like it's just overall, it's a tough year, and so COVID.
And those
it doesn't seem like it's slowing down anytime soon.
It's not. It's not. We're going into next year with it. Just
and it's gonna continue, and it's not gonna slow down until people start taking this seriously, start practicing safety measures that we need to take to combat this pandemic. But if we're gonna continue to make a meme out of it, joke about it, like, go away anytime soon.
We're still out there protesting, baby.
Yeah, speaking of protests, I was watching news the other day when I updated before. Oh, by the way, I got my PS4, Charlie. But anyway, I saw on the news a bunch of dipshits at Iowa State University. You might have heard of this. Iowa State University, the Cyclone. They're all these, 19, 20, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. They're all partying. They're all having parties at the frat houses, drinking. And the interviewer would go up and say, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" They're like, "We're drinking and partying." And then somebody else, the interviewer asked one, they're like, "Oh, what do you think about the virus, COVID-19, coronavirus?" And the guy said, "Well, I think it's just a hoax." It's like, you dumb motherfucker. You really do not pay attention to anything besides corn.
Oh, wow.
But
I mean,
I'm being a little bit.
That sums it up. That's until we take it more seriously.
He clearly is a T supporter there, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a whole nother discussion.
That is, yeah.
Oh man.
That's why I just said T supporter and left it at that. Oh boy.
I think that about wraps it up, though.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else to add?
No.
How long was this video?
Hey, Romeo.
Yeah. No, I mean, overall, like I said, good week.
Something special guest appearance from Geno's dog.
Come on, buddy.
Romeo, what's up?
Hey, buddy.
Where art thou, Romeo?
Hey.
Where art thou, Romeo?
Hey, buddy. Hey, say hi, buddy.
Hey.
Does Romeo have an Instagram page?
Oh, he's working on one behind my back, apparently.
Oh.
What about OnlyFans?
Does Romeo have an OnlyFans?
Wow, simp alert over here, Charlie.
Charles is a simp.
He's making the moves. He's making the moves, to my knowledge, apparently. I don't know his password yet, but yeah, we're trying to get the info. But yeah, he's got an OnlyFans.
This dude out here making money moves.
Yeah, he hustling. I got it. I understand.
Yeah, he's making the money, man. I don't know what to do with dog money, but we'll make it work.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right, buddy, you can go down. You had your cameo.
Yes, he's a good boy.
Yeah.
Overall, like I said, it's something we're gonna continue to stay consistent with. Long as Geno right here to my right, long as he stays on track.
This guy, he's to my left, so I'm pointing here. But yeah, I don't know where
you're both pointing at nothing on my screen.
but whatever. I don't
as long
know
as he's able to kind of stay true to what he's supposed to be doing, I mean, we can get these episodes out more.
Oh, that's
timely.
That is
cap.
That
cap.
Captain Cap over here. Holy
Yo.
shit.
Charles, man, give me
Gotcha.
the update. What's your attendance record? Your
I-
Discord attendance record.
Whoa.
Yeah,
We already
yeah.
made a bet. We already made a side bet. All right.
I don't. That bet has nothing to do with the.
How many episodes we got to do in a row? Oh,
12.
I think we lost Chad. Chad's gone. Chad, hello.
See what you did, Charles.
See what you do.
That's a sign. Time to cut the episode.
This is why Marco's coming from. Man.
Whoa, chill. All right, so we'll be back next week. Next week we'll definitely be live. Live on the channel. You can catch it on twitch.tv/IGCharlie. We're definitely gonna get in. Oh, I'm sorry, IG Charlie 92, right?
I was about to say you dropping the wrong links, man.
Fumbling the
You
bag.
you're giving the fake plug to
Fumbling
someone
the
else.
bag. So yeah, again, so twitch.tv IG Charlie 92. We will be live next week. We're shooting for about 6:30, 7 p.m. Central Time. We will shoot out all the notifications, information on our social media accounts.
Down in the description.
Yeah, we definitely got some giveaways planned, so stay tuned for that as well. It's gonna be exciting. But overall, I think that's it. Geno, you got anything else to add?
Oh no, I got nothing. We did a good job. I think we talked. I think the subjects were lengthy enough.
Yeah.
Well, we carried it on good enough, in my opinion.
Great.
Enjoy the tropical storms I'm gonna send your way.
Oh yeah. Me. If these storms don't body me and Charles, we may not.
We recorded no matter what next. It don't even matter.
In the eye of the storm.
No, I'm saying
we're gonna be out there reporting next week. Yo, I got the gear
Can you
ready
swim,
to go.
Charles?
Huh?
Can you swim?
Guys be storm chasers out here.
No,
Right.
I gotta get a floaty
Educate
ready.
me on.
I gotta get the floaty ready to go.
Oh my god! I'm not
Can you swim?
diving in the
No,
safety.
we out.
net.
I don't care. We recording next week, no matter what. We out there.
Man, you better hope the power is available then, because we might get two of them back to back.
Backpack.
I'm sorry. I'm keep telling you, I don't know what I did. I don't know these people. Yeah,
Backpack.
stop asking.
We bash lore too much. That's what happened.
Aaron, anything else you need to add? Oh wow, your quality of I don't know what you did, but the quality of your webcam cleaned up. You were like blurry throughout the entire time.
Really?
Much better.
Okay,
Aaron, you got anything else to add?
Other than it was you who was blurry on my screen, so I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Exactly.
No,
So you're blurry on my screen. I don't know. It is what it is.
It is. It is.
So y'all just about to be in competition with each other with quality now. Okay, I see y'all.
This is a full HD webcam. This shit better look
That's what I'm
crisp.
saying. I got the full HD going. Chad, got anything else to add this week, buddy?
Like, share, subscribe, and comment down below.
I was about to say you better
Talk
point that
shit
direction.
about Charlie.
Oh, me? We gotta get you an HD webcam, Chad. You can't be rolling around like this with the phone, man. Come on. We gotta up the production.
It's
With
man.
the bars on
Yeah.
the side.
We gotta up the production, man.
It's man.
Yo, Popeyes, you watching us? Hit us up with that sponsorship. Let's get it.
It is ghetto time. Ghetto streaming out here. Ghetto
Man, this is
webcam.
We need to cut it before he gets into it. He's already started.
Road to
Cut
struggle
it,
success.
cut it.
But anyways, overall, guys, appreciate you guys tuning into this week's episode. We'll be back next week with more antics. So we're all signing out. You guys have a good.
We'll have some.
Adios.
Signing out. Peace, guys.
Yeah.